It happened again. Another WWE superstar caught fire with the fans, and instead of riding that momentum, the company let it burn out. We've seen this movie before. It happened with Dolph Ziggler and Zack Ryder. Under Vince McMahon, it was almost tradition. But now Triple H is running the show and the story has not changed. Just look at LA Knight, who should have been Mr. Money in the Bank at least one time in the last 3 years, but it didn't happen. And now Karrion Kross joins the list of wasted potential. It might be a different era, but we're still seeing the same mistakes. So why didn't WWE push Karrion Kross? Where did it all go wrong?
It means tick-tock. The clock is ticking.
Karrion Kross might be one of the strangest WWE stories in years. He joined the company in 2020, right in the middle of the pandemic, and instantly became Triple H's golden boy, winning the NXT Championship in just 5 months. After a dominant run, it was time for him to wreak havoc on the main roster. And then Vince McMahon happened. Within seconds of his Raw debut, Vince slapped a ridiculous helmet on him, scrapped his wife as his manager, and killed his perfect entrance. All for no reason. It was almost impressive at how quickly Vince could ruin talent. Kross never recovered, he got released, and we all just had to move on. Then Vince stepped down, and that is when Triple H took over, and suddenly it was a new WWE. Hunter brought Kross back with one of the coolest returns in years, attacking Drew McIntyre and making it clear that Roman's days as champion were numbered. The hype was unreal, and for a moment, people genuinely believed that Kross could be the one who would dethrone the tribal chief. But then, it just fizzled out. After a short feud with Drew, winning one match and losing the other, Karrion Kross disappeared from the main event scene. Suddenly, he was feuding with Madcap Moss and Rey Mysterio, and then there was nothing else meaningful for him to do. The WWE had given him the perfect re-debut. They set him up for greatness and then completely forgot all about him. What's wild is that despite the booking, the horrible booking, the fans started to rally behind him again earlier this year, and the momentum was building, and that is when he exploded and gave us a pipe bomb.
Guy with the suit and tie in the truck, go f yourself. That's from Killer Kross. No.
After that pipe bomb, I was convinced it was finally Karrion Kross's time, and I wasn't alone. The fans were louder for him than ever before. WeWantKross chants were echoing through weekly shows, and you'd think that WWE would finally pull the trigger on a guy who had the look, who had the mic skills, and now the full support of the crowd. But no, instead Kross got into a feud with Sami Zayn, and he lost. And after that, the WWE didn't even give him a strong offer to stay. The momentum was wasted, and I can't tell you why the company refused to capitalize on that wave of support, but Kross can, and he did in his newest YouTube documentary, so let's roll that clip.
Well, now you got me!
Like, I remember in the beginning there were some people saying like, hey, I wouldn't take it seriously, it's not gonna last, or, you know, let's see if it's for real when you go out there tonight, if it's still there. We're in a different city, we're in a different state. And then when it was still there, and it got louder and louder and louder every week, that went away, and then it was kind of like, well, you know, not really ready to fully embrace that. I was being told by certain people not to, don't acknowledge it, which felt really wrong, because having a connection with the audience, especially one that is like this doesn't just come around for everybody. And it wasn't something that was constructed or thought of. This happened organically through a series of events. And I wouldn't even say it's just from something that's happened recently this year. This is something that is happening because of what has happened over the last 3 years. We're getting to a tipping point, I believe. it can be said, it can be stated that it started because I punched through something, and everybody saw what was on the other side of that. But I don't feel like we're all collectively going in the direction that the audience would like us to go in. And it's just that part doesn't feel good.
So here's the big question. Is this legit? Or are we watching the next storyline that ends up in WWE's Unreal documentary, like Seth Rollins and that injury that turned out to be fake? Honestly, I don't know. Part of me thinks this is a work, and I'm hoping it is, but it feels very real, and the reports aren't clearing things up either. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, it's all a work, and Karrion Kross is staying with WWE. But then you've got Fightful saying otherwise, and they even say that promotions don't even know if they should reach out because they aren't sure if this is real or not. It's one of the most fascinating and confusing situations we've seen in a while, and I think it's worth bringing up what Paul Heyman had to say about it during his interview with Ariel Helwani.
And it's not just the internet. It's the internet. It's the live crowd. It's the people that buy merchandise. He's a tremendous performer, and what an act he has with Scarlett. I mean, they are great together.
Should he be getting more opportunities? Should he be?
How do you know? Well, let me ask you this. If he were getting great opportunities, if he were the Intercontinental Champion or the U.S. Champion right now, would he have this level of support from the crowd?
No, they love to get behind, Kofi, Daniel Bryan, they love to get behind someone, the underdog, so to speak.
So it's working.
Yeah, it's working.
Yeah, it's working.
All right.
Yeah. It's organic. The audience is calling for him to be a bigger star. And if we don't deliver it on a timetable that an impatient audience, an impassioned audience is going to like, they're going to get behind him even more, which is great. They're making him a star. We're not shoving him and Scarlett down anybody's throats. The audience itself is making him a star, and indeed, perhaps a top star. And he's talented enough, and so is she, to carry it. It reminds me of someone else, by the way, that was in WWE, that the audience felt, this is our guy. We like this act. We like him to be a bigger star. Why aren't you making him a bigger star? Damn it, make him a bigger star. We're going to chant his name. We're going to bring his signs. We're going to buy his t-shirts. We're going to demand that you make him a bigger star. That guy's name was Steve Austin.
After hearing that, I'm starting to think that this might actually be an elaborate work. Paul Heyman made a great point. He could be the next top superstar. Why would WWE let go of a guy so over with the crowd? It just does not make sense. Like I said earlier, Karrion Kross has everything you need to be a superstar. He's got the look, the charisma, the mind for storytelling, and most importantly, the full support of the audience. You don't just let someone like that walk away. He's too valuable and he's too important to the people watching every week.
Dear Karrion and Scarlett, I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you, not just for what you do in the ring, but for who you are as people. You've both inspired me in ways I never thought possible. There have been times when I honestly didn't want to keep going. When the weight of everything felt too heavy, watching your strength and your resilience reminded me that I could keep fighting too. Your presence, energy, and the love you have for your fans have saved me from my darkest moments. Meeting you for the first time in Philadelphia in 2022 was more than just a cool moment with my favorite wrestlers. It was a turning point for me. I walked away from that experience feeling seen, valued, and stronger than I felt in a long time. That core memory for me was one of the many reasons I made it through 3 miscarriages last year. You may not realize how much you've impacted my life. I just wanted you to know your talent reaches far beyond the ring. Forever grateful.